What's up everyone, back with another video. So I figured we'd just go ahead and start the video with a dope edit in 3, 2, 1. Current go-to meals: sweet potato, 5 ounces lean ground beef. Actually, you know what? That's a ground sirloin. So a little bit more fat. We're looking to grow right now, so we can afford the calories. It's pretty bro, but I don't mind the taste. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that edit. You see what my go-to meal is right now. So now I'm going to go through a nice shoulder workout. Take you along with me. What's up everyone? I know it's been a while since I did a voiceover, so obviously we were way overdue. So, I figured I would do one today through the shoulder workout, and pretty much the reasoning for any type of voiceover for, workout would just to kind of help you guys out with mental cues, what I'm thinking about, range of motion, anything that has to do with that. So that's the point on why I do these. So hopefully some of you guys find some value in doing this, and I'll keep doing it. So as you can see, I started off my shoulder workout, which I do with pretty much the majority of my workouts. I start with more of a bigger compound movement, just because that's when I have the most energy. I feel like I can move the most weight, and because hypertrophy is my main goal right now, the main thing I've been focusing on is total weight volume. So total amount of weight lifted during each session has been a major focus for me, and I think it's been working. I feel like my physique is coming along good. Obviously, tough being a natural athlete. You don't really see a ton of results right away, but if you stay consistent, they will come. So back to the movement. So right here, as you can see, my range of motion could be better, but in my experience and also from what my shoulder tells me pain-wise, dropping it right below your chin tends to be optimal for me, where I feel it the most in the delt and I don't have any type of pain or anything like that. And so the cue here is just pretty much trying to stay nice and consistent, keeping my core tight, moving the weight up and down pretty fluid. I'm not trying to lock out my elbows at the top, though it is hard. That's kind of my main push with this right here. And actually I went ahead and did a little bit of a drop set here. I had a plate and a quarter on there. I just didn't love the overall amount of reps I got. So as I do with a lot of my movements, took the quarter off, dropped to the 45, and then just pumped out some shorter reps. Just increase the blood flow a little bit. So right after that, I get into probably my favorite movement right now for the medial delt. It is a variation of a cable side lateral raise, and there's obviously numerous ways you can perform this movement. But what I have noticed is when you pull the cable between your feet, that range of motion tends to have the greatest effect on targeting just the medial delt, which is your side delt, which obviously would have the greatest impact of giving you that V taper, which I'm definitely going for, that X frame. So I believe going between the feet has that best line or best range of motion for doing that. Other variations that you will see of this is pulling it from behind the body, or some people like to pull it in front of the body as well. I guess it's all personal preference. So for me right now, the best feel is between the feet. So the cue that I'm thinking about here is I'm not trying to bring my hand too far down to my hip, because then I lose all of tension on the delt. So what I'm trying to do is remain pretty consistent, and then as soon as the tension would let off, I bring it right back up. And actually, I don't know if you could tell because I didn't do a great job shooting this. One of my cues is trying to actually rotate my thumb down, if that makes sense. So I'm slowly doing almost like a thumbs down, and for me that ends up adding a nice little squeeze on the medial delt. You might be able to see it a little bit more here. Nope. So just think of that. That's a personal mental cue that I like, that really helps get that little extra squeeze out of that delt. I would say out of all the body parts that you could train, I would say your delts probably would have the greatest effect of that great look, that X frame. So you can never have too good of shoulders. So those have definitely been a main focus for me, bringing up my physique. And I would say the majority of people definitely can probably benefit from training their delts. Typically, people will have good front delts, okay side delts, and pretty poor rear delts. So definitely something to think about, something to focus on. So right here, sticking to the theme, focusing mostly on the medial delts, I went with a seated side lateral raise. So with this, the cue that I want you guys to think about is not bringing the weight up, but trying to force the weight out, if that makes sense. So you want to take your hand and try to reach out as far as you can as you come up with it, as opposed to just trying to bring the weight up vertically. And I think that's a really good mental cue. And the same thing with this motion. I love to get that slight rotation. And like I said, I apologize for the poor camera quality. My camera guy was off this day, so I did have to shoot this myself on a tripod, so I do apologize about that. But you kind of get the gist of it on that. So little turn down helps a lot. So right here, we finished up with 5 sets of a rear delt pec fly machine. So the mental cue with this is trying to keep your shoulders forward and then actually driving the weight back with your elbows and not your hands. You might have to fiddle around with the seat a little bit and kind of get a range of motion that feels best to you. But these are definitely a staple right now in my training program, so I would definitely consider doing these because everybody needs a little more rear delt. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, but stick around.
Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to be going over a great conditioning exercise, help you work on your explosiveness, even maybe burn an extra few calories, and that's going to be the box jump. Okay, so the main thing is with the box jump is you have to really treat it as if it's like a squat. So you want to really try to load on the glutes and then explode up and get on the box. So that's a pretty good example of what it should look like. Obviously with the box jump you can progress and eventually jump higher. So hopefully you guys like that, and I think it'll definitely give you a good workout.